Welcome back to another episode of Illuminating Information, the podcast where we shine a light on the cutting-edge ideas shaping the way we work, innovate, and navigate the evolving world of technology. Today, we're unpacking a trend that's rapidly gaining traction across a number of industries: the move from on-premises infrastructure to cloud-based SaaS solutions. As organizations look to scale, cut IT overhead, and stay ahead of the innovation curve, SaaS is no longer just a convenience, it's a strategic advantage for businesses bold enough to make that shift. To help us dig deeper into what this shift really means and how businesses can make this move with confidence, we're joined by Mario Matuschek, Head of Global Key Account Management at Mindbreeze. Mario's deep understanding of customer challenges and strategic transformation makes him the perfect guest for this discussion. Let's dive in. Mario, welcome to the show.
Hey, Johnny. Great to be here.
Super excited to have you on the show today and talk a little bit about this topic. To begin, can you give us a quick overview of the different deployment options Mindbreeze offers and how SaaS has grown in relevance over the past few years?
Sure, I can. So generally, in the end of Mindbreeze, there's three major possibilities in terms of deployment. So first of all, there is the on-premise possibility, meaning we as Mindbreeze ship hardware appliances with the software packed on top that you as a customer rack into your data centers. The other option is that Mindbreeze is also available in the public cloud, for example, in Azure marketplaces, AWS, Oracle, and any of those sorts, right? If that's something you favor. Alternatively, there's also the possibility to follow and to use Mindbreeze SaaS, the model you've actually mentioned here towards the end, right? And Mindbreeze SaaS is the model we see as the most futuristic, the most future-driven, especially taking into account, AI developments, rapid growth on the technological front, and the rapid pace actually we see out in the market nowadays. And ending up with SaaS, I just want to add a few notes. Many people think that cloud solutions might be less secure, not meet the security demands or anything on that front. However, this is maybe a misconception that I just want to clarify and then get out of the way right up front. The reason why that is not actually true or may not be true is that, especially within our SaaS infrastructures, what we do on a regular basis with a lot of thoroughness and a lot of focus is high security auditing. So there's rigorous auditing processes in place that we follow very heavily, which also makes SaaS a very safe and very secure solution, right? So with SaaS, the security level is no different than with all the other opportunities. So there's a lot of certifications that Mindbreeze brings along, and that's also a reason why I see a great future for SaaS, and that's why it also has grown quite heavily over the past. So no diminishing security, but the same security brought forward with all the other opportunities. Especially focusing on your request on how SaaS has actually grown in relevance over the past. In the past, right, or starting a few years ago, we saw quite rapid developments when it comes to AI and AI usage in the workplace, either in the B2C or B2B market. And generally, as a part of this AI-driven culture, as this AI-driven future, generally, digital transformation journeys are often started across the companies, right? And SaaS solutions are just a big part of the digital transformation journeys and those AI-driven future pathways. Why? Because AI and cloud-based solutions are very AI safe. With that, I mean that you can adapt to trends very quickly and very flexibly, and you just scale up or scale down your solutions at a rapid pace compared to on-premise installations or on-premise situations, which are maybe a little harder to be ramped up as quickly as SaaS solutions, just given their nature that they involve more personal invest on a different setup compared to SaaS or cloud solutions, right?
I really appreciated that last point about kind of that scalability and that flexibility that you were talking about. And that actually leads perfectly into our next question. From your conversations with our customers, what are the most common reasons organizations consider switching from on-premises to a SaaS solution?
So for sure, again, I'll just maybe rewind my last point. This AI adaptability is for sure one of the major drivers to SaaS or cloud solutions, right? So being AI ready, being able to use it in the daily business, that's for sure one big thing. There's, however, other bunch of reasons why people actually might consider moves to cloud or SaaS environments. Another one is generally the ease of use of such solutions, right? So customers are looking for end-to-end solutions that they just really use, and that's it, right? They don't invest in maintaining. They really use it in their daily workflows and think about how to innovate it. So we as Mindbreeze in that case make sure that everything's running smoothly on their end, and they provide feedback on how to best drive growth, innovation in the next steps forward, right? So they are actually taking the role of the innovator, less the maintainer. With that, another topic which is actually a little different from this innovation topic is that many people actually seem to really try to develop some hardware independence, meaning that they want to get rid of on-premise installations on multiple fronts, not just with their Mindbreeze related solutions, but with many other services to get rid of hardware dependency costs, data center costs, and all of the associated components. Overall, a major reason that I see and that I luckily can always confirm them with is that SaaS solutions, and especially on our end, are very, very attractive when it comes to total cost of ownership. So with SaaS, you have an all-in-all package. There's one fee, there's no hidden costs, and you can very well budget that compared to on-prem installations, for example, right? Obviously, we try to give you the best possible and the most harmonic perspective forward, but there are other factors which might come into play, right? Electricity costs, maintenance costs, networking costs, components which are out of the scope of Mindbreeze, which the companies handle themselves, and which we would love to take away from them on the burden end and just help them with those issues via the SaaS solutions.
One major advantage that I think we've kind of talked about, maybe a little bit here, but definitely in some content that we've done on our wonderful website, is this idea of continuous updates when switching over to a SaaS environment. You know, we've highlighted it a number of times here. Can you just explain to us what that looks like in practice and why it's such a game changer, why it's so important for teams, especially in such a fast-paced, moving digital environment?
Yeah, sure. Actually, good that you bring that up now. This is usually something the customers don't have in mind right up front, but this is something I and my colleagues, we can bring along as an additional benefit, right? So generally what we mean with continuous optimization is that on the end of Mindbreeze, right, we're delivering software and product updates on a very regular basis, 7 to 8 times a year, in order to follow the market trends, follow customer requests, and just be up to speed on a technical and also usability perspective, right? And with continuous updates, what we mean is that we or our operations management team on the end of SaaS is taking care of the releases. So making sure that your system is always up to the latest possibilities, up to the latest status of technology, and allows you to drive that innovation that I've mentioned up front, right? You as a company, you as a customer, take the driver's seat when it comes to innovation, and you can actually rely on the hardware and the software, the functionality being available, right? You can rely on Mindbreeze in that case and just drive what you want to drive. And that's new stuff, growth on your business end. And we just partner with you on that front without you having to take care of anything else, right? And in addition, there is the reduced need for you having to wait for colleagues who maybe are actually taking care of those updates on your end, right? But they might be busy otherwise, and you might just have some time lag in between. And additionally, there is no additional on top investment that might be necessary if you need to pay maybe somebody external who should take care of those updates. So again, building down to actually what I've mentioned before, this all-in-one pricing. So SaaS comes at one fee point, at one price point with no hidden costs. And that also includes a lot of benefits around this release cycling and the continuous updating.
Hey listeners, sorry to interrupt, but that's all we have time for today. Make sure to subscribe to get alerts about our next episode, where we'll hear part 2 of this incredible interview. Part 2 will give a deeper breakdown of the business benefits of making the switch to SaaS, along with how to overcome some common roadblocks for switching. Have a question or a topic you'd like us to cover in future episodes? Know somebody who might be a good guest on our show? Reach out to us on our website and let us know. Stay curious, stay adaptive, and as always, keep illuminating information.